hi, Leva.
Hi.
You've been in the Southern Charm universe. I think as long as we've been in the Southern Charm universe, you've been around.
Yeah, I have.
Why join the show now, 7 seasons in, officially?
It came into my life as an option, and so I just was like, I'm a little uncomfortable with this, but let's do it. So
We've known you over the years for your little Chiron, your little lower third that says Cameron's friend. Cameron's not around this year. So is it weird to kind of almost switch places with her?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't say switch places, but I definitely, it's just weird. If I thought, okay, well, this is great. We see each other all the time. So I was expecting her to be there, and then last minute sort of things changed, but I also respect her decisions.
Kathryn told me that Jason was having an affair.
No.
Okay,
Why would Kathryn say some shit like that?
Because she said...
That's a full, bold-faced bullshit lie.
That's what I think. It's absurd, too, but that's
No,
like,
Kathryn?
imagine me that I had to tell someone I was like, I don't know.
I'll eviscerate Kathryn. That's some bullshit.
For me, as a friend, I was like, come on, march your butt over here and handle this business. He just didn't want to deal with it. And that's half personality. She's not a confrontational girl. And also, I think she was just, it wasn't serving her this year. So yeah, I mean, my thing was like, come on.
Get out here.
This is a little selfish, Leva. Come on, got your back, girl.
Well, let's move on to talking about you and who you are. I'm excited for people to meet you. I love your Instagram bio says, not for everyone. What do you mean by not for everyone?
I definitely think I'm built differently. I'm gonna shoot it to you direct. I expect it direct back. I have a bit of a temper, and I think that I can sometimes say things people don't want to hear. I think it's good. I would want that, but not everybody's built like me,
So going into this experience, what do you want the viewers to know about you?
I've known these people for so many years. So yeah, maybe if you're looking at the trailer, it looks like I'm just jumping out here and being like, you shut up, you're white privilege, you're this. You're like, I just come in with like guns.
No, you shoot.
And it really isn't that way. I've known these people for so many years. I have lived in the South for 20 years, but I also have what is atypical in Southern culture. I'm not always, just bless your heart and pass the wine and the decor is beautiful and let's just keep, I want a real conversation. I want to get into it. I genuinely care about these people, and I think they're all good-hearted people, and like none of us are perfect by far. And we're just a pocket of friends. And this year was a difficult year, and I did my best. So, just give me some grace. And I think the biggest thing for me is like, I don't always say it right, but I mean well,
Let's talk about some of those conversations you have, at least judging by the trailer. You work to hold Kathryn Dennis accountable this season.
Kathryn, you've spent your entire life living in a bubble of white privilege.
There's some things that she did herself in her life, and she had asked my opinion about it, and I told her exactly how I felt about it in a palatable way, because we know that Kathryn's personality is one to just shut it down and walk away. That's her thing. I remembered who her personality and her triggers, so I tried to calmly walk her through it. I reminded her that are you aware of your history? Like, do you really know your history? And like, of all people, do you know that just your name triggers people? And it is what it is. It's the cross you bear. There's a lot of trauma behind that name. But I think that, people are not responsible for their history, but they're responsible to know their history. Everybody says, don't erase history. Okay, well, let's not erase history. Let's remember all of it.
The statue coming down.
It's like a huge statue, and it is of John C. Calhoun, obviously an ancestor of Kathryn's. He was a proud enslaver.
Oh my God, I had no idea.
And that is why this statue must come down.
When it kind of got out in the news that you guys were filming at that coming down, there was this conversation around, why would the show film this? This feels like they're taking advantage of the moment. What do you want people to take away from seeing that moment on TV and the conversations you guys are going to have around the removal of the Calhoun statue in Charleston?
I don't expect everybody to know the history of Charleston, but that statue is on the same street as the massacre of the Emmanuel 9, the 9 people that were killed in the church. And it's not just the statue. That statue was built as an overseer to slaves. That statue is built so high, and it looks down on what used to be called Boundary Street. That was a street where if you cross that street, we can do whatever we want to you. For that to still stand there on a street where 9 people, were massacred, and really essentially someone was trying to start a race war, and Charleston was big-hearted enough to not do that. let's honor the camera in this thing. Let's move this away. And so it was either don't go or bring the cameras with me. It just was what it was. And, we got lots of comments about how we were dressed. Well, if I'm meeting with the mayor, I dress nicely. I'm a businesswoman. The invitation was not casual. I didn't tell them I was bringing cameras, but, when I got there, I was like, hey, can they come with me?
This was something happening in your life,
Yeah.
whether the Southern Charm cameras were going to be there or not.
Yeah. I was scheduled to film, and I want to be authentic about my life, and it's not easy.
I want to take it back to your other moment with Kathryn that we see in the trailer, the discussion about the racially insensitive use of a monkey emoji.
When I first saw the monkey emoji, I was just like, what the hell, Kathryn?
Like, in my heart, I know I'm the furthest thing from racist.
Why were you the person to have that conversation with Kathryn?
I think at the time, I know she has a black boyfriend now, but at the time, I think I'm the only person that she knew maybe that was not white. And I think that I've always been really gracious with Kathryn. And I have attempted to sort of be more of like a big sister mom place where I'm like, listen, like smack on the hand, not okay. Don't do that again. And so I think in one sense being like, I did this. Do you think I'm racist? Like it really was, I think she didn't know how to move forward with me. And she had texted me about our kids hanging out. And I was just like, this is weird. I don't even know what I think about you right now. I'd never heard her say anything, I found horrendous like that and inexcusable, but I was shell shocked. And I think she knew she had to address it with me. And on top of that, I think I might have been the one friend that had the bandwidth for it, and also, was a person of color that may have had the understanding she needed,
It seems like it's going to be a tough season for her to have to relive. Do you think she came out the other side growing and changing?
I hope so. I don't know. The action I wanted from her was not banging a black guy, but maybe that's where that rests, or maybe she's doing some more reading or getting more involved, but I don't know. I don't know. I just know right now I stand where I stand, which is sort of like over here. And I'm trying to figure out what's next with Kathryn. I don't know.
Let's dig into all that because you come into the show as the first person of color on the show. Yeah. Is that even a thing that crossed your mind when you signed on the dotted line? Like, I have this thing to carry over the line, or you just signed up as Leva?
No, I just signed up as Leva. So that didn't cross my mind at all. It was just like, I'm friends with these people and okay, let's do this thing. I was like thinking I was going to run around in some pretty dresses and bags and, kiki with my friends and laugh and stuff. I did not expect all the heaviness.
Did the call for racial justice, the reckoning with racism we're having in the country, change at all how you viewed your kind of role within the group, within the show?
It wasn't really a shift for me. It was just, I think what was happening in the world was bleeding into our friendship as it did in friendships across America. I'm not tone deaf to the fact that like, okay, well, we are in the South and I do find it difficult sometimes, when you're around these old Southern families and there's a tremendous amount of affluence, but there's no acknowledgement that this affluence was built on atrocities committed towards another group of people. So I think being like flippant about your affluence is gross.
How do you navigate though and having to take on the burden of everybody's questions?
I think it's just at the end of the day, do you have the bandwidth for it or not? Of course, my husband is African American and his history and his generational trauma and all that stuff and is very different than mine. I think that I have a larger bandwidth for addressing topics like that because I don't have the generational trauma, so I can sit through and be like, this particular thing you did, I can speak about it with you calmly, but that's where the healing in America starts. I don't want people to feel awkward about things. I want them to talk. Healing is in talking. It's not about, I hate you, you suck, and all that sort of stuff. Just nothing.
It's about opening the door, letting them know, like, you can come into this room. I'll greet you, but then you explore the room yourself too. Yeah.
And if you want my opinion of how to explore, or you need some guidance, or you might need me to hold your hand to walk in, I have the bandwidth to do that. Nobody owes you that. But if I'm your friend and it's a good day for me and I'm not too stressed out, sure, let's have a conversation. Let me do my best to be there, point you in the right direction.
Overall, how do you feel about your first season of Southern Charm?
I think it was good. It was a tough year. It was definitely out of my comfort zone, but it's a net positive, which is my motto for life. Like, as long as the net is positive, I'm good. I learned a lot. I kind of love on them all. I'm hard on them. I know I'm hard on them. I'm happy I did it. I'm proud of us because I think that like navigating that was rough through COVID, through, the political temperature of the world, like all the unknowns. It was a stressful year for all of us, So I'm proud of us for still being able to be as authentic as possible.
Anything you're super excited for the fans to see, or anything you're dreading having to relive yourself?
Dreading to relive all of it because I feel like every time I went somewhere, I swore I was going to keep my composure, and somehow something just, probably dreading all of it. But at the end of the day, it's all real. It wasn't easy to be that real all the time. It's not even easy in real life to be that real all the time. But, and it's fun. I mean, and it's a lot. Right up to the finale. The finale, I was like, I'm going to sleep for 2 days.